Tonight on Connecticut's news station, several local college campuses are joining in solidarity, showing support for Palestine. Tonight, a group rallied in support of a Trinity College student who was shot.
Plus, a person is fighting for their life in the hospital after being hit by a car while walking by the street. What police have told us so far.
And we're finally hearing from the man who was pushed by security down the stairs of a popular Hartford bar. The whole thing caught on camera. We'll hear what he's suing the establishment for.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight with breaking news. One of the biggest forces in 20th century American foreign policy has passed away in his Connecticut home. Thanks for joining us here at 10. I'm Angelo Bavaro.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Former Secretary of State Dr. Henry Kissinger has died. He served under Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford back in the 1970s. Kissinger served as a dominant force in foreign policy, though many took issue with his dealings. Despite the criticism, though, his influence earned him a Nobel Peace Prize in 1973. Kissinger passed away at his home in Kent. He's survived by his wife and 2 children. Henry Kissinger was 100 years old. Turning to the forecast now, a chilly night, but we have good news about tomorrow.
Yeah, a slight warm-up is on the way, at least by late November standards. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank with all those details.
Yeah, for the final day of November, we're going to feel a little bit warmer. In fact, I think temperatures jump by about 10 degrees compared to today. This is a look at where temperatures were earlier. And again, we are seeing things looking up as we head into the end of the week and into the start of December. Taking a look at temperatures right now, we're close to 30 degrees in the Hartford area, mid-20s in Torrington. So it's certainly cold enough for snow. What's going on here in Litchfield County? Look, the air is so dry. It is cracked lips and sandpaper hands kind of weather that this is evaporating before it reaches the ground. But in case you have a radar that you check on maybe before you go to bed, you might see some of those snow showers out there. I don't think it's an issue though. Clear skies overnight. We're going to start the day off with temperatures in the low to mid 20s inland, upper 20s for the Connecticut shoreline. After a chilly start to the day, it is a bright and milder finish. I think tomorrow's the pick of the week with high temperatures climbing into the mid and even upper 40s as we head through the afternoon. We do have a rising chance for rain as we head through the day on Friday. We're going to talk about that, plus a chance for rain heading into this upcoming weekend too. Your full forecast coming up.
A person is fighting for their life tonight after a crash in Rocky Hill. Police say they were hit by a car on Forest Street. This happened just before 5:30 tonight. Police believe that car that hit the person as they were walking near the road. The driver of the car stayed on scene, is cooperating with police. The person hit was seriously injured, but as of this hour is listed in stable condition. Traffic is closed, though, between Main Street and Summit Road as this investigation continues.
Now a story whose twists and turns Fox 61 has been following for more than a year. Waterberry woman's murdered during a home invasion, and a plea deal was ordered to the Naugatuck woman charged with killing her. Now today, as they have almost every month, family members showed up to the Waterberry courthouse to advocate for Shelley Stamp. The 34-year-old teacher was found dead in her apartment with a shirt wrapped around her neck. This happened back in October of last year. Police say Heather Anderson and another woman ransacked her house and stole her credit cards. Anderson faces murder charges and more, but prosecutors have offered her a plea deal that would mean 30 years behind bars.
30 years for the life of a 34-year-old woman who worked with special needs children, who was the light of our lives, the light of our family. We will never be the same.
Anderson's alleged accomplice, Shannon Grisbach, was released on misdemeanor charges. Stamp's mother says she'll be back in court December 20th at a hearing in which Anderson will reveal whether she'll take the plea deal or face trial.
An uptick in crime on campus to tell you about tonight at Connecticut's oldest university. 3 of Yale's residential college dorms were hit this week by thieves and intruders. The Yale Daily News broke the story of these break-ins, attempted bike thefts, and dorm intrusions. They all happened Monday at Branford, Saybrook, and Pauli Mary colleges. Food and electronics were taken. Yale police reportedly arrested 3 suspects, all of them juveniles, along with a man who is not affiliated with the university.
We've been telling you a lot about all these catalytic converter thefts, but some criminals are still at it, even though numbers are down. Today, the U.S. Attorney announced a new federal grand jury indictment of 4 Connecticut men accused of running a stolen catalytic converter trafficking ring. Alexander Kolistis of Wolcott, Yanqui Rodriguez of West Hartford, and Mervyn Figueroa and Michael Almodovar, both of New Haven, have pleaded not guilty and posted bond. We're told, depending on the model, scrap buyers will pay anywhere between $300 and $1,500 for those stolen car parts.
New developments tonight. For the first time, we are seeing and hearing from the man suing a popular Hartford nightclub following a violent incident caught on camera. That man is claiming negligence after being seen punched down the stairs in a now viral video. Fox 61's Matt Caron has the latest from Hartford.
Well, since this incident came to light, the Russian lady has voluntarily given up their operating license. This city nightclub has a history in Hartford that dates back to the 1970s. We want to warn you, some of you may find a portion of this video disturbing.
Hopefully justice will happen soon.
His arm still in a sling, Joshua Gilmore, the man punched down the stairs by security at the Russian lady, has filed a lawsuit claiming his injuries impose restrictions on his ability to enjoy all of life's activities. Gilmore, who suffered a gaping cut on his skull, fractured elbow, and concussion, claims the Russian lady, owned by Jerry Fornarelli and FYC Entertainment, failed to hire security with adequate skill and knowledge. City Councilor Nick LeBrun telling Fox 61 he will advocate for policy change.
Not only looking at the logistics around zoning and nightclub establishments, but maybe possibly establishing ordinances or things of that nature that require some kind of training or formal training for security.
Fox 61 reached out to Fornarelli.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Who just expanded his restaurant portfolio into Vernon. We know the Russian lady is also being investigated by the State Department of Consumer Protection, fined last year for selling alcohol to minors.
We don't want anything like this to happen to anybody in Hartford.
Incidences such as these do not help our narrative here in Hartford.
The video itself, taken November 4th, shows an altercation. Gilmore dragged toward the stairwell, his hands ripped from the railing, security yelling for him to leave. Then 2 punches, Gilmore collapsing motionless at the bottom of the stairwell.
It's been 25 days since this incident occurred. The video has made its way around the world, garnering millions of views on social media, and yet there have not been any charges brought against the individuals who perpetrated this crime.
In addition to seeking more than $15,000 in damages, Gilmore's attorney tells me they are calling on the Hartford Police and the state's attorney's office to file criminal charges. Hartford Police telling me their investigation continues. They've handed it over to their Major Crimes Division. Reporting in Hartford outside the Russian lady, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Students at colleges and universities across the state held rallies today in solidarity with civilians in Gaza caught in the crossfire of the Israel-Hamas war.
Yeah, the ceasefire is set to expire in just hours from now, that is, but the effects of the war are still hitting college students pretty hard. Fox 61's Jake Garcia is in studio with their message tonight. Jake.
Well, Sarah and Angelo, students from 7 different Connecticut colleges and universities participated in demonstrations today calling for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. As tensions between pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian groups mount, local students are hoping for peace.
Gather in silence to stand for peace and ceasefire in Gaza.
A call for peace on the campus of Yale University as students painted red teardrops while gathering around a scroll bearing the names of the more than 13,000 people killed in Gaza. Students sitting in silence while holding the images of people killed. At the same time, students at the University of New Haven also calling for a more permanent ceasefire.
We are human at the end of the day. I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want this to seem as if I'm antagonizing someone of a certain ethnic background. We just want this to end.
Several student groups participated during Wednesday's rally, which organizers say shows a sense of unity on campus.
Through the intersectionality that we have on campus, especially like the diversity of this campus, it's important to show that People from all places, of all colors, and of all creeds stand for peace.
In Hartford Wednesday, students and staff gathered to show support for a fellow student of Palestinian descent who was hurt during a shooting over the weekend in Vermont. Tassine Ahmed, a Trinity College student, was walking down a street with two friends in Burlington, Vermont on Saturday when he and his friends, also of Palestinian descent, were shot. School officials say the vigil was planned prior to the shooting and was originally planned to honor those killed in the Israel-Hamas war. Fox 61 was asked not to come onto campus for tonight's event, but someone at the event says many students walked out midway through the vigil in protest, claiming school administrators weren't doing enough. Other students we talked to today hope things can still change.
I still feel like in spite of all of this, things can get better.
Ahmed is recovering from his injuries and said to be in good spirits. The suspect, 48-year-old Jason Eaton, was arraigned Monday on 3 charges of attempted murder, where he pleaded not guilty. Police say it's still too early in their investigation to bring hate crime charges, but the FBI is looking into it as well. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.